Well, hey there, buds. Welcome back to another episode of the Canadian thing guy who makes things. Just kidding, I don't have that accent. But I am Canadian, if you're wondering. Alright, we're going to make some tools today, I suppose. And yeah, there's a reason I said it like that. I just decided. And there's a reason I do this. If anybody wonders, it kind of. When you just make it when you feel like making something, you just have like a different type of attitude towards it. Like you've seen it from a different place, maybe. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. So I can just feel it when it's time to make something new. I know my creativeness is pumping, and I go in there and I give it some fresh fish, and I make something cool. All right, sounds good. I bet. All right, Shift D this guy to get started. Oh, we weren't clicked on him. Sorry. Grab the arrow. Let's move it up. And I hope you're all having a wonderful day and all that stuff. Very glad you joined me and that stuff too. And I hope this is going to help you in some way. Overall, that you're going to be like, whoa, now I can do something that I really wanted to do, whatever that may be, in your game or whatever. Alright. So first thing we're going to do is make a paint scraper. Basic tool. I figured it'd be pretty easy. That way if you're dealing with paint in your game, you'd be able to make a quick paint scraper, and then you just apply the tool, do the programming, yada yada. Pretty easy, basic, and gives us a chance to change our bevels. So let's move that up to at least 4. You can do more if you like. I'm going to undo that to make it a bit more rounder. Okay. Just like so, until I'm happy with the shape. That's what I want. But before I get out of here, I'm just going to make that a little fatter, because the back side of a handle usually goes like that. Okay? Maybe you want to do the same. Maybe you got a better way. Just giving you ideas here for your game, okay? Stretch out the handle, and if we wanted to round it side to side, we could to make it a little smoother, but I think it's going to show up in your game a lot better this way. This is the way I would do it anyways, but obviously up to you, your game, so, or your project if it's just an art project. Alright, so we're going to make paint scraper like I said, so I'm just going to thin this out. Maybe a paint scraper isn't what you're looking for, but just go ahead and use the handle anyways. And we'll make some other stuff. Maybe practice making handle for a minute while I make this. Okay? Won't be too long. Just gonna go a little wider like that, pretty thin. Then we'll go into edit mode, grab that, grab this, oops, grab that, grab this, and then Control B. Basically gonna do what we did at the top, but since it's a lot wider, it's gonna give us a better look, right? The bigger the gap is, the easier it's gonna spread over it. And that's almost done, guys. That's how easy that was. Just one more thing before we're done that piece. We'll hit A, and oh shoot, let's undo that. Hit Tab to get out of edit mode and do it in this mode. Just it's gonna give us less problems. Okay. So for the top one should be the right one. Jesus, every time I say that, I swear. Then it turns out it's a different one. Alright. Shrink this down quite a bit. Until it fits in the handle pretty well. Maybe a little bit smaller. Okay. So now, just make this thicker. Okay. And we'll bool it from the handle. Difference, okay? Just gives a little handle to hold on to it with. What it's usually for is things like hanging it, things like that. You do you. If it makes sense to you, do it. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't do it. That's fine. So we're going to go a little bit longer than the paint scraper itself, and then we're going to Shift D this guy. We're going to put it in there. Okay. And there's a reason behind this. If you want to make your tools look pretty real, you're going to have to do a good job, like actually attach the handle and things. So we're going to bool the bottom piece out of the top piece. Okay. Now there's only one here, but there's a gap there, okay, where this fits in. So if you made this a hair skinnier, you could probably see the gap a little bit better. So maybe we'll just try that. Okay, that's going to do it. That's all. It just needs to be just a little bit for you can see that there is a gap there, basically. You could do another way. You could bool the edges, but I think this is a cleaner way to do it, so let's do it this way. So we'll go ahead. We'll make another cylinder. Should have just reproduced that other end, but I forgot. Let's, it was the second one, wasn't it? Yep, okay. So let's bump it back towards us where we can manipulate the shape a little bit. Shift D right away, because we're going to need a second one. Okay. Make it small. Okay. Happy? What we're doing is making a screw head, basically. So when you're happy with the size of your screw head, go ahead and stop and just make it a piece, okay? This is going to be our actual screw. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly the shape of the screw. We just have to make it look like a screw, okay? And it depends how far you want to go with your tools. Maybe this is too far for you and you're just like, I just kind of want it to make it look like a tool. Well, stop where you need to and just wait for us and we'll catch up to you in 1 minute, dear sir. Okay. So we're just going to go like that until it looks right to us. We'll stop there. Don't attach it yet. Shift A. If you're new to Blender, you're probably thinking, why does this guy always make some things so complex? Well, the little things you do with your details are honestly going to make your game so much better and make the details in your game look so much better. And that's why I always add all this extra things like screws and things. Even if they don't move, it just makes it look a little better, right? In my opinion. Shift D, and you're entitled to yours. Okay? 90. Perfect. Okay? So we're going to take this, we're going to take that. Make sure you click off everything first, and then we're going to click on that. And if we're happy with the depth of them, we're going to bool the difference, okay? And now what do we have? We have a screw that has a star on the top, okay? Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to Control J. So now it's one piece, right? Now you probably want to shrink it just a little bit at least, right? Not quite a bit, obviously. But let's just get it to a little bit of the size that it's going to fit inside of there well. We'll move it down for it to be inside the metal. We'll bump it in a little bit. Like that, probably. You can get in a little closer to make sure it's right. If it's not deep enough, just go ahead and adjust it. Just don't make it come through the other side. Maybe make it level. Okay, we would do something like that, right? Or actually, let's just move it right in. And we're just going to we're going to shrink until it's just the right size. Something like that, but we've got to make sure that our star's sitting out, okay? It looks like it is. So let's Shift D, then grab the handle. We'll try to bool that shape out of the handle. Okay? Now, the hole is there. And if you just shrink just a hair, perfect. Okay? Alright, so good job. Let's steal that for our next project. Sorry, let's move it evenly back to keep it on its axis. But let's attach all these parts. Actually, let's do it this way. Okay? Control J. We'll head to the coloring real quick and give this a quick color before we forget to do that. Change the base color to brown. Make it darker, maybe. Okay. And it doesn't have to be exact. You're just giving it a representation. You have to be at edit mode to assign colors. Now that's assigned to it. Now I can click off of it and I can push L. Sorry. L. And then L over the screw. And then we'll push plus, new, and we'll make a steel color, okay? And we'll assign it. Okay. And now looks pretty darn good, doesn't it? So we'll just kick that off to the side. We made a paint scraper real quick. And hopefully you guys are learning from this and getting some use out of all this stuff. Don't know if we need that one for this one. Maybe we'll do a hammer if you're struggling with that. I doubt you are, but maybe you are. Everybody's a bit different. Right. So what I would do something like that, obviously get a nice straight handle, then kind of thin it out one way. It's more of an oval for grabbing, right? There's a couple different types of hammers we can do, but we'll do a carpenter hammer, and you make yours whatever you need it though, okay? So I'm just going to click off it, Shift A, we're going to pull out a cube, make sure we can adjust it. Okay. Now, I'm going to get the general shape here. Something like that. And we're going to be a little bit bigger, I guess, because that's probably going to have to come through. And then we'll go this way, obviously. And maybe a little bit this way. Something like that would be good for a sledgehammer. You just want to round the edges with the bevel. But we will not do a sledgehammer. We'll do something else. Sorry about that. We need to move to this. And then probably we will even it up a little bit. Okay. And maybe shrink it a little bit. And then we will grab that edge, that edge, that edge, that edge, Control B. And we'll give it a nice oval shaped hammerhead like that. And then we'll Shift D and move that back. And then this one up here, we're going to make it a little bigger, like that. And then we'll shrink that one. Okay. And I think you get where I'm going with this. And if you don't, you should soon. So we'll just move that to that, like so. And then grab that one as well. We'll bump them back to that one as well. I think we got a pretty good front of the hammer. If you need to adjust it, just pause the video while you do your adjustments. This piece, maybe we'll make it super fancy. We'll do a bevel here. Something like that. Okay. Maybe you like that shape better. Up to you. Okay. If you want to go with this just a square, that's fine as well. Now we're going to have to make a little more. Oops. Let's just delete that. We're going to have to make a little more complicated of a piece. Sorry, I just changed the shader up here. Shift A. And we're going to use a cube, of course, because it's the greatest shape in the planet. Just kidding. All other shapes are insuperior. I'm going to start getting comments about this, I know it. Sooner or later, people are going to be like, what is your obsession with squares? We try to mimic the top a little bit, but honestly, I just make it fit in. Kind of like that, near the top. It won't be too noticeable. We'll go a little thinner. Something like that. It's a little thin, doesn't it? Not exactly sure how to do this best. Let's try this. I don't plan this out, so keep that in mind, guys. Try to be patient with me. If you think I'm doing it in a weird way, just give me a couple minutes. Hopefully it works out. I just kind of just go off. Just like a whim, I guess. Alright, so what do we want to do with that? Make it longer? No. Well, that's probably long enough. So what we probably want to do now is grab this by the tip and do some manipulations there. Like so. That looks pretty good. And maybe like so. Make the whole thing a bit fatter. Something like that. And like that. And maybe this doesn't look right to you. It does look a bit off to me too, but I'm sure you get the idea. Just do you. Make it look a little better if you need to. Try not to take too long on the examples either. You know what would make this look a little better is if we grab this piece and we've just kind of brought some of these ones down a little bit. It's a bit flatter, maybe. Something like that. Is there two pieces sitting there? Yes, there is. That should help as well. Sorry about that, guys, if I did that to you as well. I'm going to make this a little thinner like that, but then a little thicker like that. And just keep on working with it until it makes sense and it works for your hammer. I'll try not to take too much longer, but I did want it to look fairly well for you guys. 1, 2, 3. Let's go a little flatter there. For you can make yours and you can kind of follow along and do the same idea until yours looks good. Okay. Maybe I could just see what happens when we Shift D that and copy the position to the opposite. Oh, there's lots of room. Okay, so let's delete that one. Move it over a bit. Okay, Shift D. Okay, that still works. Looks like we're on the inside. Okay, when you're ready, maybe just go ahead and attach them if you think it's good position for you. So I'm just going to grab these both, just slide them in just a hair to make sure we're good and connected. Otherwise it's going to look pretty bad, right? And when you are, and your hammer looks good to you, go ahead and join them. Then go into edit mode, grab this face, and just hook them down a little bit like that, okay? It's going to give you more of the hook on the back of the rusty hammer to grab the nails out. And again, if you got to change the proportions a little bit, but I'm not going to take too much more time on this. Alright, handle looks pretty good, so I'm going to say that's done. Control J. Again, we're just making some basic tools. If you want to spend a bit more time on yours, totally understand. Okay, we still got that screw sitting there too, huh? What else would be good? Hammer, paint scraper, probably screwdriver. Maybe do a screwdriver, and then we'll come back for some more tools next time. Cube. Okay, and we're going to switch to edges. And we're going to grab every one except for the top ones, okay? Control B, and do that. That's the shape we want for the handle. So then we are going to stretch it out, stretch it, oops, stretch it out, stretch it out, something like that. If you like it, if you're happy, maybe go a little longer. You want to make a top to your handle. This is what I would do. You do you, but this is what I would do. So I'll grab that piece. I just duplicated that, right? Shrink it way down, way down, way down, like that. Okay. Move this up here. And we're going to grab just the face of this. And then we're going to hit S. And that's how I would do my handle to like make an ending. May want to adjust it, make it bigger, smaller, up to you. So somewhere in there until it kind of lined up. As you see, it makes a pretty nice handle. Hopefully it doesn't cause too many issues. If you wanted, you could shrink it after. Make it a little more defined, I'd imagine. Something like that. Okay, that's what I'm going to do for my handle. For I can give it, give it a certain look, I guess. So I won't join it yet, just because we need to add one more part. We'll go ahead and it looks like we made a star for the end of the screwdriver, so hopefully we can repeat that on this. Not exactly sure how, but we'll figure it out. Stretch it out, stretch it out. Make whatever shape you need in your game. If you're doing flathead, if you're doing, whatever. Just do what you need to do. I understand. Okay. S. Get it the right size. Make sure it's the right size you want, because you're not going to get a lot of shots at this probably. Okay. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to hit I and shrink this down. Let's hit I from farther away. Till it's almost nothing, okay? And then I'm going to bring that up. Like so. Can cause some texture issues doing stuff like this, but I feel like this is the best way to do it. But I don't know. feel free to comment. So then when that's done, what I would do is with faces on, probably grab 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Then leave 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab the next one. And I don't know the math's going to work out. You might have to play around if this doesn't work out. But you're going to get the idea of what we're doing here and how we're trying to do it. Trying to evenly make spots for the teeth on this star head screwdriver, basically. Okay? And what we're leaving will be the teeth on them, basically. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? No. Now we got 3. Looks like 3. You know what? That's the only way it works out, though. Unless we do these bigger. I'm just trying to figure it out a bit, guys. Sorry about that. I think that makes the most sense. I'm just trying to figure out a way that it'll work, though. Why is one shorter than the other? Okay, well I think that's correct. Alright, sorry about the delay there. Okay. I have to make these connect in the right way though. How are we going to make these connect in the middle? I might have to be clever here, guys. Okay, I think I got a way, but we may have to delete some pieces after, or there might be a bit of overlay in the middle. Okay, we grab that piece, grab this piece, and we hit F. Okay. Now, obviously, there's going to be some cross here. You might have to figure out a way to get rid of it, but I think I found it a way that's going to actually look pretty good, at least. And I don't think this is going to cause too many issues, honestly, because I do cross stuff all the time. It doesn't seem to be bad. Well, I haven't seen any results of it anyways, but I try to not to as much as I can, but obviously for obvious reasons. Okay, so there you go. We have a star screwdriver. And as you can see, it looks pretty darn good, actually. So hopefully that works for you, and maybe we'll just stop there, but we'll go ahead and join those, and we will take them over to the side. Maybe we'll quickly color everything, for you guys don't have any coloring issues. Obviously, hammer, you're going to want the base to be brown. The handle. Okay, and here's a little reminder. You just want to hit L over the other things that you want to do in your second one after you clicked off everything. And then plus, new. Make it gray for me, please. Assign. Okay. Hopefully that works for you. Screwdriver, maybe you want to do 3 colors on this, and that's what I set it up for. So maybe we'll do 3 on that. Let's move over a little bit. Alright. So, plus, new. I'm going to make this base color, I think red. Robin is the star. I could be mistaken. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So, still in edit mode. We're going to hit L on this middle piece. Hopefully it's going to light up for us. Yes. Plus, new. Gonna make that one black. Okay. Because I think this is what the screwdriver is going to look like normally. Maybe you want to make the tip up here black too. Up to you. But then the last part, we're just going to highlight over this, and we'll make it gray for now to remind us that when we get it in game, it's going to be steel, right? And obviously these colors don't matter too much. It's just assigning a slot for each individual color if you're able to color them better in game. Okay, so hopefully you guys have had fun today. Hopefully you actually can use some of these tools. If there's something you need in particular, like always, you can leave me a comment and I'll try to make that particular tool you're after specifically. Okay, hopefully you guys have enjoyed yourselves, and we'll be back soon for another tool episode. I'll think of a few more tools we can do, and we'll get back. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time, guys. Peace.